It's been some time since Marvel Rivals has been out. It's still one of the most popular games out there. The viewership on Twitch is competing with a lot of the big established names. The reviews are amazing. With how fun this game is, it's definitely here to stay. I'm here to answer. Is it worth playing? Should you play it? Yes, you should. If you've been interested in getting into the game, scared to try it out, or you're curious about what it's even about, I'm here to guide you through everything. So what is Rivals about anyway? Rivals is an online team shooter. Basically you have two teams in a large map. You either have both teams fighting for the middle, or you have one team starting at one point of the map trying to get all the way to the other side, with the other team trying to stop them. There are 37 characters with roles split into Vanguard, Duelist, and Strategist. In other words, tank, DPS, and support. One really cool thing this game has is a feature called Team Up. When you have two characters of similar abilities or factions, they're able to have enhanced abilities or stats. For character customization, you're able to change costumes, MVP screen, emotes, or sprays. This game is very recent, so there's not much of a variety, but be assured they're adding stuff regularly and they're gonna keep adding stuff for years. Alongside editing your character, you can see a simplification of their abilities and how they react in game. A page to see their background, and a screen that gives you challenges with the characters just to obtain some extra rewards. The DPS, the largest roster and the role picked the most often. There's a reason everyone picks Duelist, and that's usually because the characters are all pretty great. They're all completely different, almost all of them have high mobility, allowing them to move around the map quickly or help them run away. Everyone wants to be DPS, get the eliminations. Unfortunately, this leads to a lot of team compositions to end up with only one tank or one healer, sometimes no tank or healer. It's a fun role that can be very gratifying when you're locking in, but otherwise, it can be a double-edged sword where the team quickly falls apart when there's a lack of support or proper team structure. As a DPS, your job is to target the healers and cause as much damage to the opposing team tanks. They're gonna absorb majority of your hits, but with proper team coordination, you can quickly dispose of them. You can either go behind enemy lines or try to fight them head on. Luckily, there's a large amount of DPS that fly, but be aware, you'll be moving around a lot, so it might be a bit harder for your support to properly heal you. With a large roster of duelists, I recommend trying them out in deathmatch or team deathmatch, switching from character to character to see which ones you're good at, or you prefer playing as, in case someone insta-locks the character you really want to play as. Vanguard, the tanks. A very unappreciated role and one not picked as often. A lot of the time you're a bullet sponge and there's not a lot of mobility compared to the other roles. You don't do as much damage as DPS, so people prefer not to play this role, despite being an important part of team composition. You can probably do well with just one, but usually you'll fail more if you don't have any. As the tank, you're going to be in the front lines leading the charge, taking hits for your teammates. You have a lot of HP and ways to mitigate damage, so try your best to survive and annoy the other team. With dive tank characters, it's pretty easy to go around the enemy's lineup and get to their support, eliminating them and making it easier for their team to fall apart. However, it is harder to get proper healing if the entire enemy team focuses on you. So try and play it safe, don't be reckless, and maintain line of sight for your healers. A good amount of times you'll end up in a 1v1 with the other team's tank, and the decider is usually who gets healed more. Strategist, support, the most necessary role and the most bling. It is a thankless job and a very stressful job. If something goes wrong, it's usually placed on the support for not healing right. A lot of the time you're in the back of the fight, trying to dodge hits and heal your team. Being the most important role, you're going to be targeted a lot. It's not going to be fun. If you're being targeted a lot, a quick message to your teammates to protect you can solve that issue. But no, if you're good at your job, the enemy team is going to do everything they can to make you go back to spawn. Reminder, your team probably won't notice how much you're really healing, but that doesn't mean the enemy won't. You're either gonna be bullied by the enemy team or end up being bullied by your own team, so it's easy to see why most people don't pick this role. There's a reason why these roles don't just say DPS, tank, and support, because a lot of these characters have abilities that let them do much more than those names suggest. This is more apparent in the strategist role. A lot of them can do really good damage and have good mobility. Unfortunately, some people want you to just stay in the back, keep shooting heals. This is also a problem because you're gonna have people blaming you for just staying in the back, you're gonna join the fight, you're gonna die, you're gonna get blamed even more by your teammates. This is a very exhausting role with little to no payoff, so please make sure you thank your support when you see them pop off with their numbers. Being in its infancy stage, there's only 6 different maps, with some maps having different objectives, to a total of 10 map situations. These maps are pretty to look at, they have good design, and they're fairly balanced. They're not absurdly small or obnoxiously large. Most matches don't take more than 20 minutes, which is a nice change of pace from other games. Their 7 game modes, Quick Match, Competitive, and the Limited, are all essentially the same right now. The Limited sometimes has something different and unique, like the Jeff Splatoon game mode, so I won't go into too much detail into the 3, but I will add that the Competitive / Rank game mode is able to reward you with free skins and icons if you make it far enough. Right now, if you get into Gold, you're able to get the Invisible Woman and Torch skin for free. And by the time you watch this, they'll have released the Clone Rumble game mode, meaning you can have up to 6 of the same character. Nothing super serious, but it'll be fun to watch if you run into a team of 6 Lokis, 6 Lunas, or 6 Buckys screaming, "A gun!" Doom Match. I'm not gonna lie, I did ignore this option since I wasn't sure what it was, and to my surprise, it's just Deathmatch. I love Deathmatch. This is such a good and fun way to practice characters. The way they did this map was really cool. Going through all these portals, I love it. I would definitely recommend playing this if you're tilted with the other modes and just want to waste some time. Conquest. This is just team deathmatch, but for some reason it doesn't feel as well polished. I feel like the map is too big and it's hard trying to keep track of everything that's going on. It needs more polish, but if you and your friends just want to have some fun, just go for it. Custom maps. Unlike other games where you can do anything and everything you want in a custom match, this is pretty bare bones. If you just want to practice in a certain map or want to lock a match to just you and your friends, you can try it here. There really isn't much to do that you already can't do in quick play or shooting range, so there's not a lot to say here. Practice against AI. If you're really scared of trying out a new character publicly, you don't want to let your team down, you can practice here. But honestly, I really wouldn't bother. If you really want to learn the basics, go to the shooting range or practice in quick play. Get a good response of how your character interacts in a real match. A lot of this is just bullying the AI, which doesn't really benefit you, but I won't judge you if this is where you want to spend your time. There's 5 options in the practice mode, but the only one we're talking about is the shooting range. The other modes only really teach you how to control a character, the most basics of controls, where you can just go into the shooting range or a match and press buttons to figure out what does what. Or just go into the character info pages, it will show you everything. The form of currency in this game is golden units. Most outfits come to around $20, so nothing too bad, about the average from other games. A lot of these costumes are really well made, and there's some even inspired by the MCU. A lot of this is worth the price. These come in the form of bundles, giving you an outfit, emote, MVP screen, and a spray. Being a newer game, there's not a large variety, but it'll definitely grow given more time. Save your money for now, wait till they make an outfit for a character you really like. Just like every single game out there, there's a battle pass. It looks good at first glance, is it worth it? I'll let you decide that one. The outfits are good and some of the filler stuff isn't too terribly boring. They have missions and event missions to help you progress more. If you're playing this game a lot and you think you'll be playing for a good while, definitely get it. Competitive. Being an online multiplayer game, it has to have an official tournament page. This is where the best of the best compete for chances at glory. If you think you're going to make a living playing this game, start practicing, get your team ready. You can join current clans or make your own. If you think you're going to commit to this game, might as well try and see if you can be one of the best. Career profile. If you want to change your icon, look at your stats, or see your achievements, here's where you can go. Most games take a while to add a replay feature, so I'm really happy this game started with one. It's always nice to be able to replay a match and see where you messed up, or where your teammates messed up. Going over your gameplay is always a good way to improve and see where you're lacking. So as far as final thoughts go, is this a fun game? A good game? Yes. Do I recommend it and think you should play it? Absolutely. One thing I avoided this entire time was compare this to Overwatch or call it an Overwatch copy. A lot of people are just calling it an Overwatch copy, which I feel is unfair to this game. Overwatch wasn't the first of its genre. Team Fortress 2, Battleborn, and I believe Paladins, they all ended up just taking stuff from each other, and at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do with so many characters. There's always going to be some overlap. There's stuff in Overwatch that I wish wasn't here, and then there's stuff here that I wish was in Overwatch. There really isn't a lot bad to say about this game, but I will encourage you guys to jump the ship while it's still fresh. One thing I've always hated is joining games late when everyone is already good. They know the best strats, the best characters, the numbers. It gets overwhelming quickly, but right now we're all still learning, so get started soon. This game is just starting. There's so much more for the developers to add. Maps, characters, skins, event modes, and I'm excited to see where it heads to. Let me know how you feel about the game, let me know about your experiences, and until next time.